I've done a couple of live streams lately and I keep getting asked repeatedly the same question, and it's weird because I've never really been asked this question hugely before, like in comments, but it keeps coming up in the live streams. And it's this: Spicy, when are you going to do some touring videos? You know, when are you going to go off and travel somewhere and do a whole like touring series of videos? And the answer to that question is I'm probably not going to, because it's not something that interests me particularly. And I'll explain why. I have never been out of the UK. I have never been able to afford to. I was never in a situation as a kid to do it because my mum and dad split up. We've never had the money to go on holidays and stuff. I've been on a few little, you know, weekend trips around the UK when I was, well, under 7 years old. And I did one trip to Cornwall when I was about 15, 16. But that's pretty much it. I've been here, I've not been in a position to go anywhere because I've never been able to afford it. And then by the time I got into working, well then there was no chance of ever being able to afford to do stuff like that. So that never grew as an interest of mine. But what I do that is different to many people, I think, is that I get to know an area that I live in very well. And as a rider, I don't necessarily need to be going somewhere new or have some exciting scenery or something like that. For me, the joy of motorcycles is riding them. Anywhere. That's it. I just love the experience of riding bikes, and thankfully, where I live near the South Downs, there are hundreds of miles of interconnected country roads which are absolutely perfect for something like a DR, like this bike, my dream bike. Are you now seeing why I have this bike? I'm not looking to go long distance because I don't enjoy that so much. You know, for me, a good blast around some country roads and learning a new route and, you know, connecting one piece that you previously knew with another piece you previously knew and stopping off and looking at stuff that's around in the area that you live and learning about that in a high detail, to me, is far more interesting than just travelling somewhere and looking at it and not knowing a huge amount because you're never going to have enough time to really find out too much or get to know it too well. So just understand, we're all different people, and as you've seen in the past 2,000 videos that I've made, I've not done any going travelling. I've done like day trips to Isle of Wight and stuff like that, that was fun. But going on long tours and stuff is not something I'm necessarily interested in, but it's partially maybe because it's not an option to me. You know, I've learned through my life that if you want for things you can't possibly afford, you're going to be sad. So if you just accept that you can't afford something, you're like, it's okay, it's cool, whatever, I just can't afford that. And that's just the way I've been my entire life. I'm 37 now, and yeah, I've never been in a position that I've been particularly flush. But because I have a larger YouTube channel, people seem to think that that means that I am, and I'm not. So the short of it is I basically can't afford it, and I really get fulfilled out of riding bikes on, you know, roads that I get to know. All of it, lots of it, find my best bits, find my best routes and stuff like that. But then the question came, but loads of other channels are doing it, big channels are doing it, it'd be good for your channel to do it. Go and do that, you know. Why? If I don't enjoy doing it, if it's not something I'm interested in doing myself, why would I do that? I don't make videos to, you know, please other people. I haven't followed the trends in all of these years. I've just been me. And I followed what I do. And there is a very good reason for this that I've always understood. And many large YouTubers have suffered from burnout because of it. I'll give you an example of how this can go down. Okay, so I want to just make the videos that I make, but instead I decided I'm going to start following some trends. Maybe some of that starts becoming successful, and then I find that I only really get lots and lots of views on a certain type of subject. So you then start focusing down that subject, you know, like you're going down a funnel towards the purest form of what it is that gets people to watch your videos or watch those videos. And then you go, you know, 2, 3, 4 years down the line, and this person one morning suddenly realises, wait a minute, I didn't even really like doing this thing. Why am I now focusing down this line? I wish I could do the stuff I wanted to do. And they'll make a video like the old days, and it won't do very well, and they get sad, and they'll have to go back to doing the other way. And then eventually they have some burnout, and maybe they give up, or maybe they do actually eventually go, sorry, I'm going to do it like I did in the old days and just hope that the audience comes with them, and if they don't, they're just going to have to accept that. But by that point, they're much more likely to have an audience that will support them and follow them because they like them for their personality, not just the things they do. And you can find videos going on down the years of me basically saying the same thing, which is that I am not going to be put into a box of what I can and can't make, and I'm not going to start doing things that I don't actually enjoy doing just to please the audience, because the audience won't really enjoy the videos if you don't enjoy the videos. So what, you want me to go and do it and pretend that I'm enjoying myself? Do the whole fake thing? I mean, that's a very big YouTuber thing to do, you know, go and do something you absolutely hate, pretend you completely love it, you know, just because it will do well for you. There are times that I've sat and thought, have I sabotaged my own career as things have gone on? You know, giving honest reviews of stuff and talking about criticisms of things has basically led to me not being able to get hold of many bikes anymore. You know, my channel hasn't followed down the algorithms, following the trends, trying to use really strong clickbait and stuff like that. Maybe I should have done that. If I had done that, maybe I'd be in a better position now. Maybe. And as I said earlier on, if I followed down that line, would I be happy? I don't think so. Money doesn't bring you happiness. It's true. Well, the truth about money and happiness is that there is a certain point where enough makes you happy. If you have no money, you'll be very unhappy. If you have enough, apparently it's about 60 grand a year is the figure given. If you have enough, anything over that point won't make you any happier, because all your needs and wants are pretty much covered, so it's just extra money, and that's not going to buy you extra happiness. So even if I could use some crystal ball and see ahead that a certain trajectory of certain videos would be better and I would make more money, I wouldn't do it if it wasn't something I know I would enjoy doing. And unfortunately, part of my personality is that I'm not super fixated on one thing. I'm super fixated on everything. My interests are wide, deep, varying and nerdy as hell, and I have no shame for it. I know I'm different to many people, because many people, even friends of mine, don't get me necessarily. I think Reno gets me. She's one of the few people who actually does understand me. But then she's equally a very accepting person who understands that people are different and we have our own likes and dislikes, and, you know, it's what makes a person. I mean, me and Reno are very different people. You know, I'm possibly autistic, it's been suggested by people. Very, very logical, very, very, you know, I'm not a serious person. I love joking around, but I can seem to be a bit serious at times, maybe. Reno has got ADHD. She's the complete opposite of me, and, you know, we've been together for nearly 8 years. Absolutely love each other. I couldn't be happier in that regard. Ever since I was a kid, I was never one to follow the crowds, and I am not about to start now. I get why people like touring, and I'm not saying that I won't like touring if I tried it. I'm saying I can't afford to do it, it's not an option, and right now there is no interest in my body at all to do such a thing. It's just not what interests me in life. So yes, it's basically a very long-winded way to say I'm a nerdy hermit and I don't care. I will continue to be me in my videos, and I will continue to do things that I am actually passionate about. Because as it's a universal truth of YouTube, you can watch videos on subjects which you are not interested in the slightest. But if the person has a passion for it, if the person feels something about it, you will pick up on that feeling and that emotion, and that's generally what people want. They don't necessarily want to learn things, they want to feel something. They want to, you know, feel a connection with someone about the way they feel about something, which they might not. And then they go, oh, that's interesting, or it's not interesting. I tell you, I'm an absolutely terrible actor. I could not pretend to be enjoying something that I'm not enjoying very convincingly for long before I start just moaning about it. I mean, now, oh God, I know what people are going to say now. That's your unique way though. You're going to go touring, but you don't actually want to. No one's ever done that before. No, because I've just complained the whole time and hate my life. Lastly, I will say, that's also not to say that I'm not interested in seeing different parts of the world. I'm actually very interested in that, but only certain parts, for certain reasons. Like, I would like to go to Texas at some point, meet up with Jake, you know, because we've been mates for over, I don't know, probably 11, 12 years at this point. I'm just going to go past you if you're going to sit there. I'd love to go to somewhere like Ecuador so I could photograph the insects. But equally, if I go to Ecuador and photograph the insects, I'm going to absolutely hate the few measly ones we have left here that I photograph in this country. So would it ruin what I enjoy day to day if I go to a place which is way, way better at it? It's like if you get into something like, I don't know, metal detecting or something like that, and you get amazing beginner's luck for a couple of months and then that goes away, it would be harder for you to continue that hobby than it would be for someone who'd struggled and then found one thing, because you've set a level of acceptance of what's worth the return for what you put in. It's like instant gratification, but it's like, how much are you willing to put in for that gratification? This is, as I say, this is a very long-winded video. It's very philosophical to be replying to why don't you want to go bike touring. But that's why. It's not a simple answer, and nothing ever is with me. If you enjoyed this video, do hit the like button. If you've got anything to say, please leave it in the comments. But remember, I am right about this because it's my opinion about me. It's actually got nothing to do with anybody else. I do not deny that touring could be super fun, and I get why other people do it. So it's nothing that you can disagree with necessarily, because it's my perspective on it. Although now people are going to find every way in the world to disagree with it. Of course, we are on the internet. If you enjoy the videos that I do make and you want to help support this channel so I can do more things in the future that I also want to do but can't afford to really do at the moment, then please help. Otherwise, as I say, hit the like button. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.